massaging and so forth, kinesiology, just some of the ways to alleviate the pain that's brought about by whatever sport you play.
Yeah, so I think, and a lot of people get great results with their doctors and physios and orthopaedic surgeons and all of that sort of thing. Recovery can be a long road. I had a guy a year or two ago, and he had been told to keep his foot bandaged for 12 months after an operation. So by the time, and I just think his physio must have been trying to protect him from pain. But by the time he was seeing us in the clinic, he had absolutely no flexibility in there whatsoever. Yeah. So by the time we were doing things like massage and kinesiology and that type of thing. Rob wasn't working with us at the time, so it must have been at least 18 months ago. So because acupuncture can really help that too. But people have to exercise. If your ligaments and tendons have shortened and then your muscles have shortened as well, you can have an entire area that just isn't going to work properly. So every time you put it into motion, you're going to feel discomfort.
How often do you hear that? More and more every day, especially as we get the years behind us. Exercise.
Yeah.
Now, you don't have to go down to the local gym and pump iron.
No.
Get out and walk for half an hour after dinner, maybe an hour if you want, but get out there. You've got to do something. And
the combination of exercise, it's amazing when you get used to something, how your body gets used to it. So if you're walkers and then all of a sudden you go, gee, I might go climb the White Horse Mountain today, and then all of a sudden your body goes, oh my gosh, how can that be so hard? It's only a couple of kilometres. I walk 5 kilometres every day. It's because it's doing something different. So the good thing about exercise is there's so many things we can do here, you know, riding our bikes and getting into the water and even just walking at the beach, you know, having it up to your knees, getting that extra resistance in there when you're walking through the water. It really helps the resistance. So therefore you're building muscle and you're helping to strengthen those.
A bit like my friend, she's doing a lot of water exercise at the moment in the pool to get full.
Yeah, so it takes pressure off, you know, it takes pressure off the muscles when you're in the water. So you can stretch your muscles into positions that you wouldn't be able to normally because you're in more pain. The other thing people can think about doing is saunas, you know, if their gyms have actually got a sauna in there, because heating the muscles helps them to relax as well. So the combination of heating the muscles, keeping hydrated, exercising, stretching, doing yoga or Pilates or something like that.
It's all the simple things.
It really is. It's the stuff we know. But if we don't do it, we're going to end up suffering long term. And it's just not worth it.
It's not a matter of going out and buying expensive training equipment.
No.
You've got everything you need. 2 legs, 2 arms.
Yeah. One of my clients, and I'm talking 20 years ago when I had like 5 minutes experience with kinesiology, she had a scoliosis in her spine, so the curvature of the spine. And she was getting close to the point where they were going to operate. Do you know about the scoliosis operation? It's quite delightful.
I think they get a steel brace.
Yes.
Titanium.
Yes.
And then they get the spine and they screw. Gee, I know. Should be a doctor.
So they
screw
do
the brace to the actual bone of the spine and slowly.
They do. So it's like
out.
building a fence. They literally pull the spine back towards that steel brace. But to do that, they have to actually break bits off every single vertebrae in the spine.
Oh.
The spinous processes on the edge, so they all get taken off so that they can put the nail somewhere.
Had it?
Yeah. People tend to love it because
get pain afterwards?
And because it's not fixing the problem. The reason someone gets scoliosis is because there's muscular tension pulling the muscles out of whack. So if you simply have an operation that pulls your muscles towards a steel rod, the muscle tension is still there. So whether someone needs something structural to help to rebalance their body, they might need to, you know, things like Feldenkrais practitioners and things like that. There's practitioners out there who basically are designed to help you to realign. Things like Bowen therapy can help, massage can help. It doesn't really realign us, but NOT
gives you flexibility.
You need to do something to relax the musculature that's been pulling the spine out of whack. Because otherwise...
It's quite common, isn't it?
It is really quite common. Yeah. And it's something I check with kids. Because going back 20 years ago, or 18 years ago, I met a guy called Carl Ferrari, and he was a doctor from New York. And he had developed neural organisational technique. And he, in order to get some health fund rebates from health funds, he told these parents of kids that they would do an X-ray on all these kids with ADD. And he found that, so basically he was really saying, okay, I can help kids with learning problems. So what he did was got x-rays of the spine, and 90% of the kids had scoliosis. So if your body is in fight and flight, it can pull the body out of whack. If you've had a big hip injury or shoulder injury or knee injury or ankle injury and you're compensating, you can create a scoliosis. And yes, it can be the muscular stuff. It can be carrying your school bag over one shoulder, year in, year out, all the way home and that sort of thing. So it can be just a physical, structural thing that we're doing to ourselves every day.
I can remember school days and carrying books home, and the bag you're issued with, the old school bag, it was as heavy as could be.
Yeah.
You have some huge books in there, like The Web of Life, which I did biology.
Yes.
Wasn't very good at it, but I did it. And some of the kids, especially the smaller girls, small-frame girls, would have to play havoc on them.
Yeah, and it can compress the spine. If we're carrying something every day that's heavy, every day our spine is compressing. It's something to check out when you hop in your car at the end of the day. When you're driving, do you actually have to shift the mirror again? So you get in the car at the beginning of the day, you adjust your mirror, you go, cool, I'm fine. Hop in at the end of the day, you have to adjust it. Well, that's what it feels like. There's those little fairies that hop in the car, but your spine can actually shrink by about 1 centimetre to 2 centimetres during the day if we're stressed and we're compressing our spine. So there are lots of techniques that you can do, but basically it's knowing that there's a problem and then going, okay, maybe I'll do something about this. Because you might not have thought there's anything you can do. Anyway, my friend who had this big scoliosis and she was very close to having the operation, the surgeon said to her, the only way you're going to avoid having an operation is if you swim 2 kilometres a day. Now, he didn't know how stubborn my friend was. So she swam 2 kilometres every day. So she took it from something like a 20-something degree curve down to a 4-degree curve over a period of 2 years. So she never had the operation, then we sorted the rest of it, because that's
Swimming is such a good sport. Well, as you said earlier, water.
Yeah, it's even on both sides of the body. So while you're moving, you're getting left-right movements constantly.
And there's no stress, there's no weight bearing.
Yeah, that's right.
So, there is probably a little bit of weight bearing, but minimal.
Yeah, that's right. It's more resistance exercise, so it helps to build up your muscle mass and muscle quality. And therefore that allows the ligaments, tendons, joints to feel better.
Yeah, my son, he's had surgery on his back, and he loves sport. He goes out running, but he's been suffering a bit lately. And I said, mate, get back in the water.
Yeah.
Starts, I hate swimming, because I used to had to take him to Chandler 5 days a week and Saturday mornings, and he was a very good swimmer, but they get Jack of that black line.
Yeah.
But thank God he has started going back to the pool and swimming.
Yeah,
wonderful sport.
Yeah, one of my practitioner friends, she tells her clients, you don't have to like it, you just have to do it.
Yeah.
So if you want to get better, there's stuff you're going to have to do.
Even if it's just a kickboard.
Exactly. Yeah. It doesn't matter. We just need to start to do it.
Now, have you been watching the tennis?
No, I haven't. Have you?
Oh, yes. I love my tennis this time of the year. There's the Australian Open starts Monday. What's the most common injury you get being a tennis player? Shoulder?
Ankles and shoulders.
Well, Leighton Hewitt used to wear those ankle braces for many, many years.
Yeah, because there's so much pressure on the feet, sort of with the pushing both sides. So ankles are really common in netball too, by the way.
Rapid change of direction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and once they've had an injury with their ankles, it's hard for that to recover. That can take many months. But yeah, shoulders are really quite common. But I think they do tend to stretch pretty well. These players.
I'll tell you tonight around about 7:30 on the 7 Network, there's a game between a young Aussie boy, only 18 years of age.
Ah, yeah.
He is a giant killer. He's going to be a champion without a doubt if he keeps going the way he is. His skills are phenomenal for his age. His movement around the court is second to none, and his determination to win a point.
Yeah.
Fantastic. But he is a slight build. I would say he's a build similar to what McEnroe was.
Right.
McEnroe was, had a small chest, bony build, and McEnroe could move, but would they be more suspect to injury than, let's say, a Boris Becker?
They can be quite wiry. So the wiriness can mean the ligaments and tendons are more likely to snap easily, without that big musculature around. But on the other hand, if people are doing too much workouts in the gym and building a muscle mass that doesn't suit their frame, or, let's face it, using steroids to build muscle mass, it's not good quality muscle then. So I think as long as I think the wiry kids, they really need to make sure that they are doing stretches for their body type, because you've heard about hyperflexibility as well. Some of these kids who are really wiry are hyperflexible, which means they can move they can move their arms, their joints, their fingers, in directions where they really shouldn't be able to. But what that often means is that the muscles are shorter, the tendons and ligaments are longer, So they're still more likely to prone to injury if they don't. There's a very specific way they need to stretch. But, you know, these guys will have really good...
They've got their physiotherapists.
Exactly.
They've got everyone on their team. Hey, you're a Billy Joel fan, aren't you?
Love my Billy Joel.
And you love the track The Longest Time.
I do.
Oh, I'm trying to win
All
you
the boys.
over, be your favourite again. Well, here's Billy Joel, one of the great sounds of Bay FM. It's